Oops, the mic did not unmute. Hello, welcome to Emerald Lake. It's me, Raven. We're still doing some spooky times. Hi. We're doing spooky times, but today we're doing SCP. I did not change it because it's still accurate, Spooktober, but by tomorrow, not tomorrow, brain, by next stream, which will be Sunday, I will be saying if it's an SCP or a creepypasta in this in the description. But yeah, it's SCP today. Yay! I want to say before we get started that I've got some bad back pain right now, and if it don't get much better, I'll probably end pretty early, but we're gonna give it some time to improve. Painkillers, please be helpful. But if I have to end, you know why. I'll be lying on my floor, just hoping it gets better. But okay. Oh, also, is fan on still? Sorry, that's gonna be noisy, but yeah. Yes, we're doing SCP. Need a crack massage? Back crack massage? I'm like, a crack? What? No, I don't want crack. What the hell, Devon? It's so good. It's barely noticeable. Oh, okay. It's hard to tell because I have my headphones to hear things back, but the fan is loud enough for me that it's louder than what my feedback is. So I hear the fan either way. I try and like push my headphones into my head to be able to hear the difference, and I think I can tell, but again, it's just so loud on my end. We're not backers of crack in this chat. Yes, thank you, do. I think, I don't know. It is what it is. But, usually, a good sleep can help it a lot. Problem with back usually gets set with a good sleep, sometimes worse with a bad sleep. So that's why I might have to go early. It makes sense to get as much sleep as I can. And I do have lots to do tomorrow. Oh boy. Oh goodness. Okay. But alright, so SCPs today. I have the first one up and it's a long one, so at the minimum we're gonna be reading one long story. No matter what, we'll read this one. Well, not no matter what. There could be a big emergency, but my back probably won't get bad enough to end the story in the middle. But if by the end of that story I'm not feeling better, then yeah, I'll probably disappear. But okay, so the first one we're doing. Oh, thank you for hydrate. It is a smart idea to hydrate. Let's do that. Thank you. Stretch and posture check. With the back, it's gonna be bad no matter what. Please, please let me shrimp. It's the closest we get to comfort. Trying to think about back is what's gonna make me think about the ow. So it's not the best. But I will try and do other stretch. Let's see. Okay. Okay. It's not awful. Alright. Little. Don't hurt yourself. I am being the gentle. I promise. But thank you. Okay. Let's type this in. Okay. S D. Wait. Should I be spacing this out? SD. Yeah, that looks better. SD. Locke's proposal. That's her first story. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, is it upper or lower? It's not like proper low. It's kind of mid, but it's lower end rather than higher end. So letting my top kind of curl up. That's usually how I shrimp. It's my shoulders. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. But the best when it gets real bad is to be on the floor. Yeah. Yeah. You're right, back pain is mid. Do you have a roller pillow? I don't have a roller pillow. I don't want to get fully detailed about my medical and pain situations, but basically it could be not muscle and not roller at all connected. It's it happens when it decides to happen. Like I said, sleep is the fix. If you didn't, that's usually not how muscles get fixed, or things like sciatica. So I don't really. Yeah, it's a weirdie. It'll do what it do. But yeah. Okay. Paramedic is short for parasocial medicator. Oh no, Devon, I appreciate it. It's all good. I appreciate all the love you guys are giving, but I'll just kind of wrap up right there. Okay. SD Locke's proposal. Yes. Alright, so it's got its length. Oh my goodness, there's something in my throat. And then there's a bunch of little extensions, so I'm not even sure how long this will be. But we'll be going through each of the little files that are condensed. That's one thing, when they're like this, I can't tell exactly how it'll go. Yes, the other title on it, or I guess this is just the collection's title, not this article's title. It's Daybreak, Souls, SOL, Souls, Cruel Planet. So this is considered SCP-001 here. So this is Daybreak. Woohoo! Alright. Oh, I'm gonna cough. I'm gonna try and get this. Okay. Alright. There you go. Okay. The way I said alright and okay, and I'm like, alright, I'll settle it now. I felt like the grandpa in the beginning of Princess Bride. Okay. Alright. You find the access tunnel hidden within a natural cave a mile off the main road. You don't need the key card. The door is ajar. It smells here. It smells like them. Coughs up vertebra. Feels better. Yeah, that's it. That it. Okay, sorry. Smells here. It smells like them. Hopefully they've moved on. You've come so far already, you can't turn back now. There is a slick trail that leads from the cave entrance and into the depths of the site. If it's blood or shit or something that's smeared off of one of those things, you cannot tell. You make a point to avoid it. You're still receiving the distress signal. It only started broadcasting yesterday. Whoever it is, you pray they're still alive. Your footsteps echo throughout the empty corridors. Each footfall sounds for all the world like a dozen, as if you're not treading through the dark alone. Elevator is down, so you take the stairs, ending on floor B5, Keter Holding. You pass several empty containment chambers. The horrors they once held are long gone, if you're lucky. The trail takes you to an office branching off the main hall, the source of the signal. The door is cracked open, but stuck. It's ajar. Just like you. Okay, you plant your feet, push with all your might. Something skitters out of one of the rooms to your left, and around the corner before you can get a good look at it. Your first thought is dog. It was on the ceiling, though. You take refuge in the room, slam the door behind you. It's dark here. You're safe. You take off your jacket and head wrap. It'd be a damn shame to die from something like hypothermia after all that's happened. The sole operating emergency light rotates in its casing, casting a pale orange glow across the room every other second, as if the room itself had a pulse. There's shelving haphazardly placed behind the door, a barricade. You scan the room, soiled clothes, half-eaten food. Despite the presence of an adjoining restroom, there is excrement in a bucket in the corner. A pneumatic chamber on the northern wall would have been delivering consumables to the occupant. The trail terminates in the corner of the room, forming a sick puddle. You spot 3 pharmacy bottles. Further inspection reveals them to be various opioids. They're all empty. There's a desk with a computer atop it. Approaching the terminal, you can clearly see the blinking light of the power button. You take a seat and turn it on. And then from there, I think now we're going to go back and forth between narrative, the same way that we just read, and what the computer kind of says. So I'll say computer or something when we're in the computer. So on the computer, emergency protocol activated, clearance level safeguards removed, full access granted. And in the little subhead, secure, contain, protect. And it says loading, ... loading, ... loading, ... loading, ... loading, ... loading, ... Just, I guess, to show that it's alternating between, to show that the ellipses are going. You hear footsteps just outside the door. Every first step comes down heavy. The second drags behind it. I just did it with my fingers, but you couldn't really hear it. Sorry, I gotta move the mic and I don't want to right now. Alright, and it says loading, ... 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 authenticating, ... A dark shape blots out the light streaming in through the slit between the floor and the doorway. Back at the computer, ... authenticating, ... authenticating, ... You tense up, waiting with bated breath, praying it will pass. You damn the deafening thumping of your heart for betraying your position. Please wait, ... Please wait, ... Please wait, ... The shadow recedes. You breathe a sigh of relief just as the screen comes to life. The computer says opening file, and then it has fire emojis on either side of the next line. Anyway, automated secure system notification code 235, and in brackets ASSN 235. That's all caps little thing. It's what has the fire emojis on either side. Okay. There has been an error in retrieving the current iteration of the SCP-001 file. You are currently viewing revision number 3. Newer revisions can be accessed at the bottom of this page, is what it says. And then we have access to a bunch of different versions of this. So the first access file for me to click on It says access file SCP-001 revision number 3 out of 12, or /12, and then in brackets 1 audio file. So I'm going to click that. Oh boy, yeah, this is going to be a long one because this is already okay. Alright, so at the top of this, all of this will be, oh no, not all of this. Okay, we start at the top with the typical title and other number, description, whatever. Starts with revision 3 out of 12, updated 1312 in a very different font days ago. So quite old. It says SCP number, or item number, SCP-001, object class, a polygon, and I'm going to jump over to the photo. It looks like either a very heavily edited photo or something deeply weird. The very, very background is just pure red, bright crimson. It's just full red. I'm not talking about what would normally be behind a sun or a moon or anything. That fully red sky in theory. But then we've got a glowing circle orb that looks like a sun, and the shadows of trees, all in black except for right where they cross in front of the sun, where they look, like the light kind of shines through it, so it looks kind of red, and then not really even there. It looks like a weird sunset. But okay, special containment procedures. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Bad coughs. Special containment procedures. Due to its nature, SCP-001 cannot be contained. Survivors of the SCP-001 event stationed within secure facilities are to remain in contact with one another. Personnel are encouraged to attempt to reach Site 5, but then that Site 5 has the scratch through it, and there's a footnote that I don't seem to be able to access. Oh, there it is. Footnote 1. Personnel are to be reminded that there is no Site 5. Interesting. Okay, and then, after that it says Site 19, by any means at their disposal. Personnel with knowledge as to the whereabouts of the O5 Council are to relay this information to the administrator. Survivors attempting to travel outdoors must fully cover their bodies in protective clothing, preferably several layers. Travel by foot should be limited as much as possible. Cities and man-made structures in general provide the greatest protection. Formerly wooded areas should be circumvented. Travel by air is preferable above all other methods. Personnel exposed to SCP-001 are to be considered lost. Compromised personnel are to be abandoned. Euthanization is not to be attempted. Collective instances of SCP-001-A that are of formidable size are to be avoided at all costs. Conductive electrical weapons have been proven partially effective at immobilizing instances and may be used for self-defense. Incendiary weapons work as well. Cryonic munitions are the most effective thus far. Testing has revealed that SCP-001-A is relatively safe to consume. What is this? I'm like, somewhere in my brain I'm like, oh, is this, like, are people zombies? Considering the sun, or maybe it's the moon, are they werewolves? Converted. They're not the SCP, but other people become related. But then you say that they're safe to eat? What? Or maybe I misunderstood what SCP-001-A are. I don't... okay. Alright. This is only to be considered as a last resort in absence of other options. Yeah, it sounds like. Oh, what was that? Okay. Here I am laughing, and a weird jolt in my, like, collarbone. What was that? Okay. This is a weird spooky. This is a real spooky. I don't like it. Okay. I'll focus. And as SCP-001A may reconstitute within the digestive system. Jesus, what? Only small portions should be consumed at a time to prevent blockage. What the hell does that mean? They're coming back together in your stomach. What is this? Okay. Personnel stationed at Site 19 are to pursue research concerning off-world colonization. Okay, so we're giving up on Earth. Deeply disappointing. Maybe there's reason in this, but, like, how about if we can do that somewhere else? How about we try doing that to our own planet first? Looking after what we've done to our own planet. Okay, whatever. Shuttles must be constructed as to not allow light to penetrate the interior. Okay. We can't let light come in when we're traveling in space. That was the sun, wasn't it? Okay. And now we've got a little note. Well, it sounds like anywhere the sun is concerning. Because it even as they travel in space, but okay. To those of you with families, or God forbid, children, I'm deeply, deeply sorry. You must push on. Do not let their deaths be in vain. Funny, it says, to those of you with families, and then just immediately, yeah, they're dead. What? Okay. We do still have time. Humanity may still have a future. Come to Site 19. We need all the hands we can get. And then at the bottom with the little SCP symbol, learn to embrace the darkness, friends. Fear the light. And at the bottom from, the little dash, the administrator. Okay. Really are abandoning Earth. Dun dun dun. The scariest option of all to me. The most bullshit. Okay. Let's focus on this, Raven. Come on. Alright. Description. SCP-001 is the designation given to the sun. I knew it. After an event on, and then in the square brackets font, all caps, system error. And then in a weird smaller font, smaller text, but same font as normal writing, just in italics it says, data lost, EC172, contact sysadmin, like SYS admin. And then it picks back up at, resulting in approximately, squiggle, 6.8 billion casualties within the first 24 hours. Oh yeah, so the vast majority of people. That's why, if you had families. Oof. Okay, this event has been categorized as an XK triangle. I'm assuming Delta. XK Delta class solar singularity scenario. The SCP-001 effect does not seem to result from exposure to ultraviolet rays, but rather light in the visual spectrum. It's got in brackets. Oh, I don't know the visual spectrum units. What is NM for the... anyway, it's approximately 390 to 700 NMs, whatever that unit is. I don't know what it is, but it's about the visual spectrum. One color to another stuff. Anyway. The effect is similarly present in moonlight, because if you don't know, the moon is just reflecting the sun, so it would have something similar, but it would be a little bit different. So you could get sunburnt by the moonlight if it was extremely up. It's very difficult to do with a reflected light, but yeah, anyway. Okay. Upon contact with visible light produced by the sun, living organisms liquefy at the point of contact, with the effect spreading until the entire organism is converted. Visually, this is reminiscent of melting wax. The time this takes is largely dependent on the level of exposure and size of the organism. Despite this restructuring, at no point do living organisms perish. Upon completion, these organisms, SCP-001A, take on a gelatinous consistency. Motile organisms will attempt to orient themselves in a fashion reminiscent of their previous form to varying degrees of success. Flora typically remain physically inert, yet are still capable of photosynthesis and will produce oxygen. Organisms capable of flight lose the capability to do so. Fauna remain sentient and display behavior that parallels their non-anomalous counterparts. Wait, shouldn't fauna all be dead? Okay, fine. Counterparts when not absorbed into a collective instance. Humans retain a modicum of sapience and memory. Oh, wait, no, you mean all of these things once... Hit. I misunderstood. All of these things once affected by the sun and such, melted, have that. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Biological anomalies exposed to SCP-001 are affected in the same manner. It seems that exposure nullifies any previously expressed anomalous characteristics. Due to their composition, instances of SCP-001-A that make contact with one another may combine and blend at the molecular level. This does not seem to cause any pain or distress to the instances, though the resulting bulk can inhibit movement. Since the SCP-001 event, most instances have congregated into such collectives which seem to possess no maximum volume. The resulting biomass is amorphous and chaotic. The component organisms will shift between a full to semi-liquid state. Limbs and bodies will rise periodically from within the mass for a short duration, before deteriorating and being subsumed by another life form. Collective instances will locomote by using their appendages in tandem to carry their mass. Larger instances will form a pseudopod from their constituent life forms and drag themselves about in a manner similar to amoeba. Okay. Boo. Okay. Next we have little description of how we listen to this audio log. I think this is cool. Instead of them attaching an audio log like a lot of them do, and then, I can't play it for you guys because that goes into such. But you can have the where did my brain just go? You can do the describing it as if you are reading it, since we're already describing what we, as this person that went down the corridor and am hiding in this weird room, what we hear when we have the press play and stuff. Anyway, okay, so next it says, kind of in the little way that implies what we're doing, it says, plus open attached file, audio log, ... access granted. A harsh static lashes out of the speakers when you open the file. It disrupts the stillness of the room, catches you off guard, and quickens your heart's pace. There's some handling noise as the recorder adjusts their microphone. A brief moment of silence passes, and then... this is Dr. Logan Igata. Igata? Anyway, it feels like it's a setup for a prank. Anyway, okay. Level 3 researcher. There's a quiver in her voice that betrays her attempts at professionalism. She pauses, takes a deep breath, and continues. Due to Site 46's possession of several communicable info hazards, we have been cut off from the rest of the network under blackout protocol. As such, I'll be updating this as we come across new information. On the bright side, we are actually still receiving transmissions from a few sites. A good number of personnel have made it seems. Some are planning to make a break for 19, some are trying to fight the dash, as some, like us, are simply biding their time. We've got a link, I guess, on biding, but I'm not going to go. Our site is sealed for the time being. We're not ready for the journey, at least not yet. She sighs. We experienced a containment breach a few days ago. One of the higher maintenance humanoids broke loose. Son of a bitch compromised containment on half a dozen Keeters and ran off. They didn't make it more than 5 feet from the tunnels before collapsing in a soup. I watched it play out on the cams. It didn't take long for them to get back up. She stops again, mutters to herself incomprehensibly before you hear the unmistakable sound of a match strike. She exhales audibly. Much better. Not exactly a designated smoke area, but what the hell, right? She clears her throat. Commander Anand suited up and went to town on them the next day, tried to drive them off. It didn't turn out very well, poor bastard, but we did learn a thing or two at least. Pause, exhale. There's only a few of us left here. I'm holed up in one of the offices. Jerry and Director Phillips are somewhere in the barracks. Clyde and a few Ds locked themselves in the armory with Ari. I really should see how she's doing. She trails off for a moment before you hear the buzz of radio chatter. Hey, hun, how are you holding up down there? A voice responds, a man with an exaggerated, mocking tone. I'm doing just fine, Poopsykins. I want you to know I love you bunches. Logan shoots back. Knock it off and put her on, damn it. I need to speak with her. There's a clamor on the other end while the radio changes hands. A soft voice calls out, concerned. Babe, what's wrong? Logan responds. Nothing. Pause. Exhale. I just wanted to check in real quick. Ari pleads. I'm fine, babe, really, I can take care of myself. A creak. Logan shifts in her seat. No, I know that. I can't help it, though. I know coming here was never easy for you. Pause. Exhale. Logan continues. And with everything going on, Ari interrupts her. Hey, you told me you quit smoking. There's a ruckus as Igata presumably attempts to snuff her cigarette. No, of course not. I mean, I did stop. Ari doesn't sound convinced. I don't think I'm the one you need to worry about. I'm staying clean. I haven't even thought of touching nest sticks in months. Trust me. Anyways, since you were wondering, I'm fine. The guys are sitting around playing cards. I'm tucked in the corner with my notebook. You can practically hear Igata smiling as she jokes. Sweetheart, penning a sonnet about my undying love at a time like this, I'm flattered. Ari responds with a feigned laugh. An elegy at the moment. I feel like if I don't keep myself busy doing something, I'll go crazy locked down here. I know what you mean, hun. I'll let you get back to it. I love you. Ari replies. Love you too, babe. A moment of silence, then a match strike followed by an audible exhale. Another cigarette, I guess. And that's all of us. Everyone else was either topside during the event or they were killed in the breach. Director's orders are to stay put, keep an eye on the cams, both in and around the facility. We've got the 001 skips beating at our front door, and God knows what else locked in here with us. We still have electricity. We should for quite some time, and the place is stocked with enough supplies to last the site a couple of years. We're going to be fine for now. Pause. Exhale. Everything's going to be fine. She waits a beat before ending the transmission. Oh boy, it's already spoopy. I'm just seeing now the I want to suck your blood, blah. Very fun, very fun. Hi, Gennaro. I don't know why the frogs boogie while the kitty is all sleepy, but okay. Look at the derpy little face on that cat. Okay. Saying it's like Five Nights at Freddy's. Ooh. Okay. Access file SCP-001, revision number 5 out of 12. Incident report appended is the next. You said checking cams. Ah, you're right. Okay. But the next file, I guess, is our incident report. I'm going to click to open that one. Okay. Oh, it's a whole updated thing. So the last one, it was the revision. This was updated like 1,300 something days ago. And here we are with, and that was 3 out of 12. This is 5 out of 12. So here we go. Revision 5 out of 12, updated 1,202 days ago. Item number, SCP-001, object class, Apollyon. Special containment procedures, no changes submitted, information collapsed. Description, no changes submitted, information collapsed. We've got the same photo. I realized maybe I forgot to add the little caption it had, which is SCP-001, minutes after its activation, photographer unknown. But anyway, okay. Now we have the little option to click, or that we must have clicked. It's plus open attached file, incident report 001.1. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Access granted. They've just been sitting out there this entire time calling out to us, begging for us to come outside. The noise drew in more of them. There's this one mass that I'm sure must have a few dozen people and God knows how many animals rolling around inside it. Screams and bleats and screeches and howls non-stop, louder than all hell. The worst ones make this disgusting moaning like they're actually enjoying it. They're not going to leave so long as they know we're down here. We managed to talk one of the D's into going out, see if he couldn't draw them away. He was surprisingly okay with the plan. All he asked for was a gun and a single round. He made it out there and got a hold of him, and one got a hold of him, tried to get his mask off. He managed to work the pistol up beneath his chin in time, got it off. I figured he was lucky. After he fell limp, though, it kept working at his suit. Pried off the hood, poured itself inside, began tearing it off of him from within. He came back, started changing, dripping out of the suit and screaming and screaming and screaming. They won't even let us die. The director has a plan. There's an escape tunnel hidden in his office. Tram under the site will take us to a safe house. We should be able to start towards 19 from there. How long did it take to mention the frickin' tunnel? I guess maybe they were just like, no, we're supposed to look after the stuffs. We can't leave. And the director's like, fuck that now. You know what? Let's just go. Anyway, okay. The next thing for me to click, access file SCP-001 revision number 8 out of 12, 1 bracket 1 attachment. And again, we have it, revision 8 out of 12, updated 1,200 days ago. So just 2 days after that last one, they made 3 revisions. A lot happened in 2 days. Object class Apollyon, special containment procedures, no changes submitted, information collapsed. Description, no changes submitted, information collapsed. Same photos, same caption. And then we have plus open attached file, video file, dot dot dot, dot dot dot, dot dot dot, access granted. You can see her for the first time. Dr. Igata is seated where you are right now. She has a pained look, her eyes are bloodshot. A large, wet, red-black blotch has formed on her breast pocket. Oh no. She draws a shuddering breath, parts her lips as if to speak, and stops herself. She bows her head and cries silently. After a minute, she manages to choke out, the tunnel flowed in through the ceiling, dragging them into the light and ripping off their clothes, and she reaches into her breast pocket and withdraws a finger. The glint of a wedding ring is visible above the severed portion. Oh. She holds it close in cupped hands and runs a thumb across the glimmering band. She sits like this for an eternity, whispering apology after apology, begging forgiveness, lost in the moment. She looks up after some time. There's a look of realization when she sees she's still recording, before she places the digit back in her pocket. She leans forward as if to turn off the camera when a radio crackles to life. It broadcasts white noise for a few seconds, and then a voice that sets you on edge. Logan? It's Ari, almost. Her voice has taken on the disgusting gurgling tone characteristic of the affected. Logan's jaw drops. What little color that was left in her face drains. It speaks out again. Where are you? Why can't I get back inside? Are you there? Logan rummages beneath the desk for a moment and produces a handheld radio. Her hands are shaking. The thing implores her. Its inhuman speech curdles your stomach. Babe, it's all right. I'm all right, really. It's a bright, sunny day, and you're just wasting away down there. Logan is in tears, her fingers hovering just above the call button. The Ari thing draws a deep, wet breath and speaks. Such a beautiful, clear blue sky, just like that day. Do you remember, babe? Logan withdraws a cigarette with her free hand, followed by a pack of matches. Her shaking thwarts the first 2 attempts to light it. She swears silently. 3rd time's the charm, and she inhales a quarter of it in a single drag. The Ari thing continues. It was so perfect. Everything was how I'd always dreamt it would be. You planned exquisitely. I'd never felt so in love. You even had the band play our song. It starts singing. Now, I don't know this song, so I'll just say the words. I have no idea what this tune is, but okay. Golden days, in the sunshine of a happy youth. Logan begins rocking back and forth in her chair. Golden days, in the sunshine of a happy youth. Logan hurls the radio across the room. It smashes somewhere off camera. It's still somewhat operational. You can still hear the thing singing. More voices join in chorus as the radio slowly loses life. A few dozen, then more. In golden days, in our hearts we remember them all else above. Days of youth and love. They continue singing until the radio mercifully dies. Logan rushes out of her chair, and you can hear her vomiting off screen. The video films the empty seat for several minutes before she turns to end the feed. The next thing to click just says, something isn't right. A lingering paranoid sensation washes over you. You're being watched. You defensively dart your eyes about, though they take a second to adjust to the darkness beyond the monitor. The emergency light sweeps across the room, stretching and twisting the shadows beyond recognition. That's when you spot it, there in the corner, coming out of the puddle. Time slows to a halt. A pair of hands coated in the lustrous black slime you followed through the facility are on either side of the sickening pool, as if something beneath the floor is bracing itself, trying to lift itself up, something inhuman. The head comes next, rising from the muck. Matted hair conceals its face, plastered over it by the mystery fluid. It turns in your direction. It stares at you from the corner, which, once again, falls into darkness. The emergency light continues its journey across the room. It washes over the puddle again, revealing nothing out of the ordinary. So it's gone back to puddle mode, creepily. Alright, then access file SCP-001 revision number 9 out of 12, 1.1 attachment. Revision 9 out of 12, updated 986 days ago. So it took a few days, took a couple hundred days to get this next revision. Item number SCP-001, object class Apollyon, special containment procedures, no changes submitted, information collapsed. Description, no changes submitted, information collapsed. Photos the same, captions the same. Plus, open attachment. ... Access granted. Dr. Igata appears on the monitor. She's lost weight. Her eyes are bloodshot and wide. On the table before her lay a knife, a bowl, and a stack of manila envelopes filled with yellowing pages. Atop this stack is a blood-stained parchment. I'm guessing this is another video, of course. Okay. Despite the things we have to deal with here at the Foundation, I've always believed we would be able to maintain control. We would hold the darkness at bay, let mankind flourish in the light. Site 19 stopped broadcasting last month. It's been getting harder and harder to find a reason to keep going, especially without... She grabs the knife, contemplates it for a moment. I keep going over it again and again in my mind. That day back in the tunnels, everything that happened. I've gone down there a few times, if only to hear her voice again. But it's wrong. That thing on the other side of the door, it isn't her. Not anymore. It sounds like her. It knows everything she knew, but it's not her. This light, it takes your body, it steals your mind. But what about your soul? With this, she slices into the palm of her left hand and winces. You watch her clench her fist, draining her blood into the bowl. If this works, if I can bring back something the light couldn't reach, I'll post an update here. For now, signing off. Now we have access file SCP-001 revision number 17 ! 24 ATA all caps error. So that should be something. Revision 4847/3RR0R. Updated 985 days ago. So this would be the very next day from that video we got. Item, hurts. Object, apologize. We've got the photo. It's actually a different looking sunset photo. This time the background is kind of cloudy, but it's all still very red tone. There's a bit of, black at the bottom, and you can't quite make out what it is. That kind of looks maybe like it's a cell phone tower little thing. I don't know what that little thing that's poking up, but it's mostly just black at the bottom, band, and then the white sun and cloudy red sky. Special containment. Oh, and it says, "It was so warm out there," as the caption for that. Okay, special containment procedures. SCP-001 should not be contained. Survivors of the SCP-001 event stationed within secure facilities, and then it changes to a different thing, can never truly be with one another. And back to the other thing. Personnel are encouraged to, then, new font, get over themselves and stop thinking, the word's getting more and more spaced out, and stop thinking they know better. You can't hide down here forever, love. Then back to the normal font. Personnel exposed to SCP-001 are, and then it picks up right, adding the word different font. People you can just normal font, abandon. Spaced font, I didn't ask for you to save me, it wasn't your choice to make. Normal font, euthanization is, and then everything's up in the top now, like the TH in fourth, or the to the power of 3, it's the up font. It says not, and the words got smaller right at the end. Back to normal font, normal spot, to be attempted. Conductive electrical weapons, and then to weird font, why, have proven, normal font, have proven partially effective at immobilizing instances. Weird font, you couldn't stand seeing me better off. Normal font, superscript, that's it. I know subscript, but I was like, what? Superscript, thank you. Normal font says incendiary weapons. Weird font, tickle. Normal font, cryonic munitions are the most effective thus far. Personnel stated at Site 19 have, weird font, no regrets. Neither did I. It's never too late, babe. Normal font, description. SCP-001 is the designation given to the sun, weird font, after we finally become free. Normal font, the effects are instantaneous, resulting, weird font, in release from all suffering until you rip me away. These changes seem scary, I know. Normal font, despite this restructuring, at no point, weird font, will you die. I promise. Normal font, due to their composition, instances of SCP-001-A that make contact with one another may combine and blend, weird font, and finally exist. Hi, Jamaican uncle. I'll go ahead and hydrate. Thank you. Normal font. This does not cause, weird font, any pain. Normal font. Since the SCP-001 event, most instances have congregated into such collectives which seem to possess no maximum volume. Normal font, but all smushed together. Don't be afraid. Normal font. The resulting biomass is superscript, weird font, like it's the first part of beautiful, BEAU, and then it falls into normal script, but still weird font, TI, and then subscript, weird font, full. So it's beautiful, but in stair formation. Normal font. The component organisms will shift in and over and around, through, around and through, and then we're doing some weird sub to super to sub to super to sub, where it says and in and out and in and out and in, and back to normal. Limbs and bodies hold, weird font, never letting go. Superscript goes up and says, oh no, don't, I didn't mean to click that, I was just clicking the, no, it's gonna move. It goes up into superscript and it says something weird. It's like alias or Alice. Let's go back if it'll let me. Yeah, reset the whole thing. Dang it. Okay. We were at the error. Yeah, there you go. That one. Yeah, it's alias 1, it looks like. But it's superscript. And it's a new sentence, but it starts with a lowercase. It's AL the number 1, A-S, and then the number 0, and then O or N-E. So it's alias 1, but with letters and weirdness. And back to normal script, it says, back to normal script, normal text, before deteriorating and being subsumed by another life form. Collective instances will locomote by just trying to get close to you again. Trying so hard. And then real small, let me in. So it was more obvious at the start, but the differences became smaller and smaller by the end of that. And then there's a heading text that just says, let me go back. And now we get a description. It's not on the computer, it's what's happening to us. There's a video file attached. Opening it, you see that it presents the room you're in. The feed seems to be coming from one of the security cameras up in the corner of the room. It's dark, but you can just make out Dr. Igata laying on a pile of laundry along the far wall. She's writhing in her sleep. She seems tormented, hurt. She's tossing and turning and mumbling nonsense words. The camera shakes. It lifts upward for a moment before it focuses on her again. It starts moving closer, slowly. The speakers come to life, picking up an airy, breathing static. As the camera moves closer to the doctor, it becomes clearer, crisper. Jeez, Raven. Okay. It's not merely white noise, but dozens, hundreds of voices whispering unintelligibly over each other. You lean in, press your ear almost against the speaker, trying to discern what it is that's being said. Something strange stands out amidst the discordance. And then it's got real tiny text all squished in, and it says, are you paying attention? This next bit is just for you. You're not quite sure what to make of it, though. Looking back at the monitor, the camera has come to a halt inches away from the sleeping doctor. The voices stop. There is no sound. A hand, black and oily and skeletal, reaches out for her, brushes away a lock of hair. Her eyes shoot open. She recoils in shock. The feed cuts out. And that's the end of that one. But we've got more. Access file SCP-001 revision number 12 out of 12, 1-1 attachment. Revision 1212 updated 1 days ago. Item number SCP-001, object class Apollyon. Special containment procedures, file recovered from previous revision. Information collapsed. The photo is back to what it used to be before with that previous caption. Description, file recovered from previous revision, information collapsed. And plus open attachment. ... Access granted. Dr. Igata appears before you on the screen, looking even worse for wear than she did previously. Her hair is thinning, with large swaths appearing absent from the middle of her head. If they weren't reflecting the soft glow of the monitor, you would have assumed she no longer had eyes, for how deep they'd recessed into her skull. She stares ahead, unblinking. She won't stop. She won't go away. I know I didn't. I'm gonna reset. My brain's mixing it all up. Okay. She won't stop. She won't go away. I know I didn't. No, I didn't pick up an info hazard. Instead of info hazard. Sorry. Browsing the archives. Tested myself for SCP-8673 infection. Negative. SCP-9189 is the only other one that uses print as a vector. Can't be that. I still have all my fingers. Her lips crack into a broken grin. She lets out a weak laugh and displays her trembling hands. What appears to be the mostly skeletal remains of a finger is embedded into the flesh of her left hand, in the stump that would have supported her natural ring finger. 2 wedding bands loosely encircle the digit, laying atop one another. Okay, so like... she no longer has her own finger. It's now a bony finger that pops out of there that has the 2 bands. That's funky. Okay. So I'm not infected. I'm not crazy. I know the ritual works. I know it's really her. It's her. And something catches her attention off screen. She cocks her head, listening. No, I can't. You're not you. Not the same. Not you. It's not you anymore. Nope. No. She begins rubbing her temples, repeating herself over and over again. A minute passes. She snaps her head back up and addresses the camera. It's her, but it's not. What I brought back, still part of the one. There's no way out, no way. There's no hope for a future for me, and God, I can't go on like this any longer. I'll be safe here. The light can't reach me. I won't let it take me. She brandishes a shotgun. She brandishes a handgun. Now is it Freudian little slip, because I expect her to shot. Okay. Was planning on using this till I found some leftover meds. Don't want to risk calling attention to myself, to my body. She opens the desk drawer and deposits the firearm. She raises her gaze, stares into the camera. Mom, Dad, Ari, I'm sorry. She reaches forward and ends the recording. Okay. Next little button for me, Raven, to click says, "That's horrible." I click. And now it says, "Did it have to end like that?" And there's a little thing under. You open the drawer and pull out the gun. You absent-mindedly turn it over in your hands for a moment, wondering where you'll go from here. Site 17? 64? Surely you can't be all that's left. The computer dings. There's been an update to the file? And below it, the last one here. Access SCP-001, current iteration updated 1 minute ago. Ooh. Item number. Saffron skies raise the blazing sun, a chance encounter, awkward displays. One day, my love, we'd be as one. Object class. With 2 entwined, a set course begun, that frenetic, wild, lustrous haze. Azure skies host the radiant sun. Special containment procedures. Above us beaming as we run down that aisle of fervent craze. That day, my love, we became as one. With future unfolded, the life we'd won, commitment and duty for the family we'd raise. Cerulean skies ferry the shimmering sun. Description. Buried, shackled by fate, overrun by ever-growing resent and malaise. There you go, brain. Yesterday, my love, we were as one. Now you lie here, the life in you gone, in the dark outside of her rays. Crimson skies bear the torch our sun. Today, my love, will be as one. And then there's a photo. A red sky with clearly some clouds kind of spawning it. Different from the cloudy sky before. Kind of a hazy. And this time the sun in the middle doesn't look white. It looks yellow. And the caption there is system. And then it's all caps. Error or 0R 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 or hashtag at ampersand hashtag. I was going to say and sign, but it's ampersand. Anyway, you know. And then we have a description from us. Without your prompting, the page begins playing a video file. You freeze when the image loads. It's a live feed, looking down on you from behind, about a foot away. A skeletal, inky left hand enters the frame, approaching you at a snail's pace. It's missing its ring finger. Without a second thought, you turn and fire in a frenzy, hoping to drive off the specter. Your bullets meet an empty wall. There's nothing there. A second passes before you hear it, before you hear them. Sloshing wet thuds coming down the corridor, accompanied by a chorus of screams. It slams into the door. Could there be a place to hide? It strikes a second time. What appears to be a face, part human, part something, dribbles in under the frame. Bits of flesh from God knows what oozes in through the sides and reconstitutes into fingers, eyes, feathers. A third. Now it's pressing up against the wood, causing it to sag inwards. With a groan and a crash, the wood splinters. The door explodes open. Hands and arms stretch out of the mass, pulling you up, pulling you from one to the next, on and on down the line. They drag you past the empty containment units, upwards and through the stairwell, through the halls and towards the tunnel. You're afforded a few precious moments in the darkness. And at the end of the tunnel, there is light. The end! Spooky, spooky, spooky! There you go. Oh boy. Sorry, the yawns. But that one was, oh boy. That was a lot. There's a bunch of little links to click through. I'm gonna have to go through after this, because I like to keep note of what other stories are referenced in the SCPs, if I can. I'll have to go through those. Okay. With that, I think I will be good to stay on for more, but I want to take a quick BRB and then properly decide. And if I am going to end early, I'm still going to read a short story, I think. One we've already read before, ripped from the headlines, because when I read it, I noted that it would be perfect for Spooktober, so I will. But okay, I'm going to BRB, and then we'll read that. That's for sure. Alright, where is the thingy? There it is. There we go. Okay, be right back. Alright, I'm done. I didn't remove this thingy. Wait a minute, I meant to move this away. There we go. Okay. So I'm actually going to read the longer story. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna stick around. I'm going for it. But this would be the time for triggers. If anybody has any redeems, there has not been any. So please drop those now if you want them, or else I'm about to jump into a very long story. The little scrolly is tiny. Oh boy. But I believe in us. We have quite a few hours to go, so I think we can get through it. Especially since I've had zero interruption. Normally, you know, I'm used to everybody being chaos and being like, oh, go over here, look at me. And I'm just reading this time, so I think I can do it. It's fairly dense, though. I'll try. Yeah, alright. Yeah, if there's nothing requested. But yeah. Hi, NURIAKEA. When are we... I need to check who recommended these ones. I got your most recent one. Oh yeah, the next one we're about to read is yours, NURIAKEA. It's the 1972 to -055 thing. That's what I called it. It's the Unusual Incidents Unit file that you recommended. So, yeah, that's the one we're about to read. Yeah. No redeems then, folks? Okay. Oh, no. I felt the yawn attack. I had to. Okay. Well, with this, I guess it's time to read it. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, okay, I'll name it like this. UIU File. And then those numbers. That makes sense. Okay. Let's get a reading. That one. There you go. Wait. Come on, Raven. Yeah, there you go. Got an important piece of punctuation. The colon. There you go. Basically, somehow, we've gotten into the FBI? What? Okay. But this is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, UIU, Pittsburgh office site. So here we go. Do you think it's a good first spoopy? Do you think this is a good one, NURIAKEA? Alright. Most redeems are out of stock for some... What? All of them? Whoa! Why are all of them gone? Which one of my mods was a little silly person that wanted me to focus? Which one did you want, NURIAKEA? I'll fix it up. Whoops. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Actually, we'll keep rage puffing off. I don't have that energy right now. Forgot to fix it. Oh, you did that. Oh, good for you. I'll fix it. It's okay. My brain's kind of happy about this. To just slowly click buttons. It is bread. I know I don't have. There's point last night we said no more redeems. Oh! Look at you looking out for me. Thank you. And still a couple more. There you go. I did it. Okay. Sticks Russell. Okay. Get over here, Sticks. Your time to shine. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Well, that's maybe too many, but okay. Here we go. Okie doke. There was our sticks. They got well rustled. If there's no more, I'll jump into stories. But they're all fixed now, so please feel free to redeem them if you want them after the story. It's just going to be a very long story, and if there's a few, requested, maybe I'll break and do a redeems break in the middle of the story. I think that's a very good idea. But I won't do it if there's no redeems, because if people don't redeem, then I'll okay, I guess we like story time, and I'll focus on that. Since we are officially in the writing and reading category now, I want to give that as an option for me to just read straight through. So it's up to you. If you want redeems to happen, you want to trigger break, make some redeems, and I'll make sure to add breaks in the story. Okay. With that, let's go ahead. Get out of there. There you go. Back to that. Oh, wait. Boop. There we go. Alright. So we're in the Pittsburgh office, I guess. And we pick up with a little note at the top before the files even begin. Agent. Review this file one page at a time and take notes on each page with the provided cards. There's cards? I don't have any papers. The file will be yours to keep and the notes will be for you alone. Work out what you're looking at, then put the whole dossier in your safe when you're done and come see me in my office. You won't need me to tell you not to talk about this with anyone else, but I'm telling you anyway. And at the bottom it's -A.D. Merrick. Okay, good to know. I think that we do take notes and I'll read what we've written, but yeah, okay. We've got a very fancy logo, eagle, UIU, very Americanish stamp thing, and it says Federal Bureau of Investigation Unusual Incidents Unit. UIU File 1972-055. Case file, and then in quotes, fault line. A self-censoring event of unknown magnitude and consequence occurring on 12/15/1972, so December 15th, 1972, within Sugar Grove, West Virginia. A faculty designated, and then in quotes, Area 12, is established in the vicinity shortly thereafter by the SCP Foundation. The government knows, but we know they knew. Okay. Federal investigations into the event, which had occurred on U.S. soil and on what was previously federal land prior to the Foundation's abrupt acquisition of the location, are continually hampered by that organization over the following decades. Oh boy, we've got a little skirmish here. Yeah. We, the FBI, seem to be pouty about the SCP Foundation, it seems. Okay. And then, yeah, we've got little notes. It says, "This is me taking notes at 50% of baseline human speed. Am I being demoted to secretarial pool? Is that how far I've fallen? Questions. What is the Unusual Incidents Unit? Mentioned at the debriefing sounds like pulp nonsense. What is the SCP Foundation? See above. What does self-censoring mean? Also see above." Which is to say, it all sounds stupid, I think. Next file. Report author ASAC Samuel E. Jacobs. Date filed based on the previous date, and from this it looks like May 25th, 1973. 05/25/1973. Oh my gosh. The header says irregularity cross-reference in one little box, and then further, American SCP Foundation, unsecured, self-classifying, non-human, bracket, question mark, bracket, locale, bracket, question mark, bracket, destructive, bracket, question mark, bracket. And then the info, event discovery, details known, functionally impossible to record, data is universally forgotten shortly after reading. Locale summary, pre-event. Sugar Grove, a small rural community with a population of approximately 500 within Pendleton County, West Virginia, situated centrally within the National Radio Quiet Zone. We've got a footnote. Am I able to access the Oh, the footnote is in the little file, way down below. Established by the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, in docket number 11745, November 19, 1958, and by the Interdepartment Radio Advisory Committee, IRAC, in document 3867/2, March 26, 1958, to minimize possible harmful interference with the radio receiving facilities for the United States Navy in Sugar Grove, West Virginia, presently responsible for intercepting all international communications entering the eastern United States, simultaneously shielding the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, NRAO, in Green Bank, West Virginia, conducting civilian radio astronomy. So in the quiet zone, the radio quiet zone, as it said, and housing Sugar Grove Station, a national security agency, NSA, and Navy Information Operations Command, NavyOCOM, communications site. Locale summary post-event. Location secured by the SCP Foundation immediately following the event. Limited salvageable information. See Page 2 on evidence, in brackets. NSA Sugar Grove Station is occupied by SCP Foundation personnel and redesignated Outpost 12 in quotations. Present use of the facility, if it has been altered at all from its original purpose, is unknown. What minimal investigations covert UIU agents have successfully carried out have returned inconsistent and generally incomprehensible fragments of data and witness accounts. What few sources remain within the area suggest a tremendous increase in irregular occurrences throughout. The nature, cause, magnitude, or consequence of these ostensible occurrences are, likewise and consistently, unknown. Our notes. Apparently a report from some double plus top secret branch of the Bureau. Obviously I can buy that. What I can't buy is the quality of this reporting. It barely is a report. I can't imagine any section chief who'd be happy with the nonsense on this page. It's basically something happened, but we don't know 10 times over. This is an admission of failure. All caps after an admission of mental illness. All caps on the next page. Why am I even here? And then in quotes, data is universally forgotten shortly after reading. I can't find any record of a Sam Jacobs at the Bureau, Samuel E. Jacobs, who wrote this report. Did they unperson him for writing the single worst report in FBI history, or after his catastrophic nervous breakdown? Page 2. Oh, that's a funky hat. I'm going to have to try and copy paste that. That looks so funky. Bring out the notes app. What the heck is that? Gip. Come on. It's loading. I found a way. I found a cheat. Okay, I'll tell you about it in a second. Hold on. I've got too many tabs. Okay. So, the second page is evidence. Exhibit A. A slightly translucent, light pinkish petal with a smooth texture. The object's material composition is abnormal with a tensile strength of roughly 17.23 gigapascals. It's capital G, capital P, lowercase a. My brain is forgetting most units of measurement right now. Forgetting all of physics. Oh no! Yet still strangely pliable. Its edges are sharp, hazardous if mishandled. Discovered just north of the National Radio Quiet Zone boundary, believed to have been carried by the wind from Sugar Grove. Okay, so funky little petal. Pretty strong, but pliable, and has very sharp edges. So be careful. Weird. Exhibit B, 5, and then in brackets 5. Living concrete statues with a paranormal method of locomotion, representing various wildlife who had been exposed to and consumed an unidentified substance originating from Area 12. So, concrete statues that are alive now that they've eaten something. Or maybe they were animals that ate those things and are now concrete, whatever. And then Exhibit C is blurred out. It's not like the black bars. It looks like you need glasses, some heavy-duty glasses. But I found a way. It says Exhibit C, a chunk of dark, weathered basalt. Basalt? Brain? You know, that. Seemingly removed from a larger object. The outward-facing surface is covered in a regular pattern of neatly carved rectangles. Ooh, okay. Put that away. Exhibit D. Pages 3, 4, and 5 of this file. Records of the SCP Foundation's, primarily Area 12's, ceaseless unrequited hostility and antagonism towards and disregard for the integrity of the United States, her sovereignty, her constitution, the safety of her general public, her internormalcy organizational relationships, and the veil. Hi, Turt. Interesting. Exhibit E, a forcefully severed thumb. How else is it severed? Severed at the carpometacarpal joint by unknown means. Female, likely mid-adolescence, discovered within hours of its severance. Ugh. Okay, our notes. Exhibit A. I'm not a metallurgist, so this doesn't mean a lot offhand, but it's saying that pieces of metal, possibly very strong metal. Oh, it said petal. I thought. Yeah, it says pinkish petal with smooth texture. Anyway, saying that pieces of metal, possibly very strong metal, blew in on the breeze. Am I meant to accept or contest this? Exhibit B. Living, period, concrete, period, statues. And then nothing on Exhibit C. I'm guessing Buddy didn't read it. Hee hee. Exhibit D. I take it these are the fuckers who cost me my tolerance for the smell of hospital disinfectant and my arm. Ooh. We've lost an arm? Okay. If they're a civilian, foreign ? Foundation, why are they able to operate with impunity? Exhibit E. What is this meant to be evidence of? Like, what is this thumb about? Thanks for the hydrate, Turt. I'll hydrate here. Page 3, which I guess is part of our evidence. It says Bureau Record. Current status, status quo. The SCP Foundation retains jurisdiction over Sugar Grove, Green Bank, and the Greater National Quiet Zone, NRQZ, under scrutiny of the Department of Defense. Direct investigations are discouraged by SecDef and POTUS, Secretary of Defense and President of the United States. The UIU continues limited surveillance around the boundary of the NRQZ, the Quiet Zone. History of FBI UIU action and observation. 12/15/1972, that's December 15th, 1972, event occurs, with our footnote saying, a majority of sources corroborates. So something happens. The event occurs. Anyway. Sugar Grove is occupied by the SCP Foundation. An unknown quantity of FBI UIU response agents are dispatched. An unknown quantity return. And then we have 1973 to 1979. As per something redacted, let's see if my copy paste recovered it. No, it didn't. It did not at all. It's just the redacted mark. As per redacted, the occult branch of the Department of Defense, Pentagram, permits ceding control of a large territory of Pendleton County to the SCP Foundation. The extent of the territory becomes defined by the county's southeastern border with the state of Virginia, along with routes 33 and 220 to the northwest. On advice from POTUS and SecDef, FBI UIU involvement is restricted to external surveillance and limited third-party information gathering. 11/25, so November 25th, I'm just trying to look back, 1979, nearly 7 years, very nearly 7 years later. 10-year-old Silas Parker, Ezra Woods, Bezai Morrigan, or Bezai, anyway, Holden Inanna, and 15-year-old Quincy Ereshkigal disappear within the forests of Sugar Grove. 1, 2, 3, 4 10-year-olds and 1 15-year-old disappear. Unsatisfactory responses to federal inquiries, both to and from the SCP Foundation, culminate in an order from the director of the FBI to deploy an unusual incidents response team to the area, breaking a precedent of non-interventionist surveillance. The response team arrives at the last known location of the children, whereupon they discover Exhibit E, that severed thumb, which they found to be female. I can't tell for sure the gender of these names, but I would guess male for each of them, so I don't know. I should say sex, because they probably just DNA tested the thumb. But anyway, shortly into their investigation, a group of individuals approach, loudly ordering the response team to immediately vacate the area and identifying themselves as agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, presently participating in a U.S. government naval operations drill. The ensuing confusion nearly results in lethal confrontation before the response team is forced to withdraw, outnumbered by the group of what have now been verified as agents of the SCP Foundation masquerading as an FBI squad for purposes unknown. I think it's fairly fair to known. They didn't want to say, hey, we're a weird monster foundation, so they said that they were FBI. But of course that caused some confusion and stop, that's illegal to impersonate us and the such, probably. Okay, and now the notes that we have made. We have 3 notes this time. Our first paper. This is quite the come to Jesus dossier, isn't it? Implications. 1. A foreign power of cryptocracy is operating on American soil. 2. Said body has been granted territorial concessions. 3. Said body does not fully respect and can outright challenge the authority of the United States federal government. Hi, Annie. Next paper. 4. Said government has abetted said body in its unconstitutional activities. 5. Said government employs agents and agencies themselves, effectively constituting a shadow government in opposition. 6. Some form of accord exists between each above-mentioned party, relating the maintenance of a facade of normalcy to cover up the existence of supernatural phenomena. Conclusion. If my takeaway from this document review does not meet with A.D. Merrick's approval, and this isn't an elaborate prank or stealth psych assessment, my body will never be found. Okay. Secondary conclusion. This is real. Tertiary conclusion. They want me to join the Unusual Incidents Unit. Yeah, I think so, bud. Us. Me. Okay, so there's some redacted stuff later, but it looks like the exact same way that they've covered up the last one, so I'm not going to try copy-paste, because it's just not going to work. But we start off with some more info. This is other dates from that log that we were reading, but this time it includes a funky map. It has West Virginia and Virginia, highways, some cities and towns, whatever. And the caption says, the National Radio Quiet Zone, NRQZ, contains the Green Bank Observatory and the Sugar Grove site. I'm not totally sure where this is, but let's see if we can embiggen the photo. Aha, hold it down. Okay. Clarksburg, Weston, Buchanan, Norton, Circleville, Snowshoe, Greenbelt, Sugar Cove. Okay, so I see 2 stars that are both in the sort of whiter part of it. It's all black and white. And then there's some darker shades of gray. I'm not totally sure where the border West Virginia and Virginia is, because it looks like all the lines are highways. Can't fully tell. I don't know if it has the thing. Maybe it's the gray? I don't know. I can't fully tell what the colors are supposed to be for. Anyway. But yeah, it's just a little map of the area. Can't quite tell. It's not like it has NRQZ outlined very well or anything like that. Alright. 11:30, November 30th. 1979. Despite protests from the director and executive assistant director of the National Security Branch of the FBI, a request from the SCP Foundation demanding exclusive unilateral control over the U.S. NRQZ is approved by SecDef, citing Foundation assistance in the ABSCAM, FBI sting operation earlier that year, which saw 17 government officials declared guilty of standard and paracriminal activity as cause. This approval cedes 13,000 square miles, with a footnote says, bounded by NAD 83 meridians of longitude at 78D29M 5.0 SW and ADD 29M 59.2 SW and latitudes of 37D 30M 0.4 SN and 39D 15M 0.4 SN. I don't know coordinates, but there you go. So this approval cedes that many square miles in those latitudes and longitudes of U.S. territory to the SCP Foundation. They've given a very specific thing. Then January 5th, 1980, 1980, see Protocol Fault Line. That's all it says. Next is 040 question mark 1981. So April sometime in the beginning of the month, 1981. And then it's got 3 rows of text redacted. And it says, an unknown quantity of agents are dispatched. An unknown quantity return. There's a footnote that says a majority of sources corroborate. Medical services in the surrounding region are inundated over the coming days as civilians suffering a wide variety of adverse, largely paranormal conditions are admitted. To the hospital or something? You didn't say where. Anyway. 4 years later, 1108, November 8th, 1985, an unidentified substance with theorized metamorphic effects is found to have leaked into the South Fork, South Branch Potomac River, which flows adjacent to Area 12, likely as a result of the Election Day floods. Hundreds of animals are known to have consumed the substance as it spread downstream. See Exhibit B. The director and executive assistant director of the Science and Technology Branch of the FBI extend a request for forward-going annual environmental reports from within the NRQZ. No response is received. Ooh. I would prefer specific words because I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done like affirmations. It's a very broad, and I could just go for it, but I like to know if you have something specific. You can ask me to do the general, but I might not be very good and I might stumble, basically. So I like specific, but up to you. So that was page 4 of this funky little report, and we've got our note. We've just got one little note paper this time. If I'm reading correctly, the extrajudicial cryptocrat bastards have been using their land holdings within the continental U.S. to pollute the surrounding environment with paranormal waste, presumably resulting in those concrete wildlife statues from earlier. Is that what this says? Is there some poetic license involved? SecDef and the UIU are at odds over how to handle this SCP Foundation. We don't even present a united front. Next, page 5, more dates. 06/12/1986, June 12, 1986. A major operation is conducted by the SCP Foundation in a valley adjacent to Area 12. The location is tightly secured, with all lines of sight blocked off for approximately 14 miles. The nature of the operation remains indeterminate. 11:15, November 15, 1988. The 300-foot radio telescope in Green Bank collapses. The incident is declared by the SCP Foundation, using the public guise of the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, NRAO, to have resulted from mechanical failure and a sudden loss of structural integrity. FBI sources, however, indicate either foul play or external sabotage, as an undercover UIU agent disguised as a civilian contractor recovers trace explosive residue from the site. 0201, February 1, 1991. With the monumental achievement that is the collapse of the USSR and its GRU division, in quotes, psychotronics, the the FBI UIU budget is unfortunately slashed in favor of investment in foreign intelligence services and defense. Surveillance of the NRQZ is, perforce, downscaled. 0312, March 12, 1993. Widespread civilian reports of quote-unquote ghost sightings south of the NRQZ are received as the 1993, in quotes, storm of the century reaches West Virginia. While scarcely credible, FBI agents stationed south of the NRQZ for surveillance report being overcome by extrasensory psychological phenomena, resulting in an advanced state of altered consciousness. All agents now reportedly suffer from one, several, or all of the following ailments. We're definitely not going to know for sure how this is going to go. Phonoagnosia? Ganser syndrome? Don't know that. Pain disorder. Onset sectoral heterochromia. I'm guessing that means like different colors in general sections of your body. I'm not entirely sure. And dyscalculia. Bad with numbers. Woohoo. The cause or relation between these reports or their coinciding with the storm of the century remains unclear and confounding. 1994 to 2012. Unknown, non-functionally documentable. Irrelevant conjecture is recalled long before recitation. The ability of the FBI and its branches to perform in accordance to their mission statements is additionally impaired as a direct result of bolstered bureaucratic oversight and an invasive campaign of inquiry from the Senate Judiciary Committee following the 9/11 attacks. We had a footnote on irrelevant conjecture. Actually, that footnote looks different from the other ones a little bit. Anyway, irrelevant conjecture is recalled long before recitation. It says a minority of sources corroborate. So some people can confirm this. Now we have 04/04/2013, April 4, 2014. The Department of Defense's Chief of Naval Operations announces the decommissioning of the Naviocom communication site supporting Sugar Grove Station as, and here's the quote, a result of the determination by the resource sponsor National Security Agency to relocate the command's mission. Independent UIU investigation determines that this action was in fact undertaken under the instruction of the SCP Foundation and was the DoD's explanatory statement. So the SCP are the ones that decided this, not us. Our notes. All caps and underlined where it can. What I think is happening. Project Blue Book type deal. I don't know what that is. The reference to the Russians clinches it for me. We've got secret government agencies responsible for handling things too weird to go on the official record, and we're not the only players in the game. And one of the players apparently holds all the cards somehow, despite not being aligned with any state actor. We're underfunded and undermined by our own side, and the other side barely notices us. Judging by the fact that they're able to evade or redirect governmental scrutiny and have their way on American soil, the Foundation must have some combination of money, unique, non-reproducible advantages, and friends in high places. That's all consistent with the gang we busted in on. Apparently, I barely even scratched the surface, and it sure as hell scratched me back twice as hard. So I guess that's in reference to us losing our arm. I guess we busted in on some SCP folks. I don't know. And then it says there's one more page in the dossier. I have an inkling. We have candidate review. And I guess this is us. Because underneath I can see it says, I'm not surprised they have a file on me. So I think this is us. Name, Nasrin Ghasemi, Ghasemi. Nationality, American. Occupation, FBI Senior Special Agent. Age, 30. Personal history. Nasrin Ghasemi was born in 1982. Her father was a political science professor at the University of Tehran, and her mother worked as an agent for the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence. They emigrated to the United States before her birth due to an unspecified scandal that saw her mother retire in disgrace. Her parents raised her to believe that public education and selfless service are vital to the cause of international peace. Her mother disappeared in 2001, there you go, while attempting to turn whistleblower to the International Criminal Court, in hopes of discovering what had happened. Ghasemi attempted to join the Central Intelligence Agency, but was denied for unspecified reasons. I'm just kind of giggling at the idea that the FBI know that this was the second choice. You're not good enough. CIA was better. Anyway, she instead joined the United States Armed Forces, hoping to achieve the same goal with a career in military intelligence, but was instead transferred into the American contingent of the United Nations peacekeeping forces due to a general shuffling of ethno-regionals out of direct combat in the Middle Eastern theater. By now, convinced that her efforts to discover her mother's fate represented international stonewalling by the governments of both Iran and the U.S., Ghasemi substituted globalist idealism for her lost national patriotism. Service record. As part of the 3rd Infantry, Ghasemi was deployed with the American contingent to Namibia as part of UNAMSIL, the United Nations, it's got in brackets, the United Nations mission in Sierra Leone, in 2001. In February, her peacekeeping unit picked up radio chatter from the Revolutionary United Front indicating an imminent raid on a clandestine government research facility. Moving to prevent the outbreak of open hostilities, they discovered an illegal prison conducting biological research on human subjects under the auspice, I don't know this word, of an unknown organization. Gotta be SCP. The resulting conflict, subsequently known as Incident Carbon Banner by the Global Occult Coalition, saw both Ghasemi's unit and the RUF sustain heavy casualties before the facility was secured by the UN. Okay, maybe that was Global Occult, maybe it was SCP. A joint task force of the Global Occult Coalition and SCP Foundation relieved both groups and administered amnestics after debriefing them, since the facility made extensive use of paratechnology in its research program. Our note. I'm not surprised they have a file on me, and I'm not surprised it's included in this packet. I get the point they're making. The game is global. How big is the Foundation? Love the quote-unquote unspecified reasons bit, as if they needed to specify after 9/11. Not a fan of the psychoanalysis, though. What does my family have to do with anything? And what the hell are amnestics? = amnesia? Medication? They told me I was in a coma for 3 days. We know. It looks like the final little piece of this is service record continued. Ghassemi was honorably discharged from UNAM-SIL, that Sierra Leone thing, at its conclusion in 2006, whereupon she successfully applied to join the Bureau as a field agent. Her combat efficiency and dedication to teamwork and unit coherence resulted in a steady series of promotions, culminating in her commanding her own team by 2004. Mildly confused by order of things. I think they're saying she transferred to the Bureau in 2006, or after she was done in 2006, but then they were like, she did very good while she was there, though, is what I think they're saying. Hello, Thrice Candy. Anyway, what followed was nearly a decade of successful field operations. Her policy of total disclosure to her agents, as opposed to keeping them on a need-to-know basis, made her unit internally famed for the talented personnel it regularly turned out. Every mission was an opportunity to turn someone expendable into someone experienced. Hey, we love to hear about a good manager. In 2013, she accompanied a strike team into the field in order to investigate a human trafficking case. Due to severe misinformation promulgated by the SCP Foundation and their direct intervention in the raid, Ghassemi's unit was almost entirely wiped out by what turned out to be a small pack of SCP-939 instances. Anybody know what the 939 was? She alone survived with the loss of her right arm and partial shoulder. This prompted her early retirement from the FBI. Assessment. Due to her outstanding case closure record, personal accomplishments, and first-hand exposure to veiled phenomena, Agent Ghassemi is a prime candidate for transfer to the Unusual Incidents Unit. She should be briefed on the nature of the SCP Foundation and provided additional documentation regarding their involvement in her personal history to facilitate the transfer. And at the bottom of that page, because there's a bunch of blank space, is the little logo we saw before. We have our little note. We say, called it. In the event that someone's removed this from the safe while I walk to Merrick's office, hi, I'm on my way to say yes. And with that, I think I'll take a break. There's a big space in it. We kind of reset. It's an easy break. And we also need to have an ad. So I'm going to quickly run a 1-minute ad. And then we'll have we've got 2 triggers. And then we'll pick up. So here we go. Here's an ad. It's incoming. I'm sorry. Ad. Okay, it's loading. There you go. Okay. We'll do keys. We'll do humming. And we'll pick up. There you are. It's going okay. Feels like my meds are sometimes working, sometimes not. Let's lift this up. A little bit of a tentative stretch. Alright. Okay. How's it going with everybody else? How's it going? How's it going, everybody? Big yawn. Okay. I should jump right into keys and humming, I guess. But alright. Let's get this up. Coming on. There you go. And we'll swap from reading into triggers. There we go. Alright, here's your keys. Here we go. And there is our keys. Alright. How big? Oh, big yawns on me. I'm getting sleepy. Yawn? What? That's what I meant to write. Oh boy. There we go. Alright. What we got? What we got? Alright. I see we have Singing Frog, Water Jar, and Sniffs to do now. I hope that was all good. And because you were wondering about the whispers and if you want, like, if you could do a general, I feel like I may prefer the specific, but like if that's something you like, that's something I know that other ASMR streamers do, and it's something that I'd like to learn. And if you guys want to have the patience with me for me to try it out, I'll do it. It's just that I really haven't had anybody request it yet, so I don't know what I'm doing. But okay. Let's do Singing Frog. Let's get Herbert. I have my water jar here. Okay, yeah, that's not far. And then I'll do Sniffs. Alright, Herbert, you ready? I'll just call it Herbert this time. We won't specify. We're just in that mood right now. I don't know. Okay. I did lots of humming because I really zoned out. We should get moving. We've got a story to read. Okay. Oh, that's way too loud. What am I doing? Okay, over here. And there was some Herbert singing. There we go. Okay, water jar, water jar, water jar. Water. A jar. Well, get out of there, you. Eh? There we go. Okay. Hush poopa, hush poopa. Okay, here we go. There is a water jar. Why are you crying, Locke? I'm doing your redeems quite speedily. Is that why you cry? So that you can't yell at me later? Because you're a little shit disturber? Is that why? I know you're gay. Here are sniffs, though. Time for the sniffins. Alright. There was our snips. Hi, well, cotton candy eater. Hello, hello. I have done all of our redeems. Mwahaha, all finished. So I suppose it is time to go back to the story. What? It's gonna be another long go. This is the second half. And I am tempted to end stream a little earlier than planned, but obviously not yet. My pain is kind of warbling. It was good, and then it was ooh, and then it's kind of good now, but I don't know what's going on. So we may still need to end earlier than I originally planned, but it's still a ways away. Okay. I'll do a little bit more caffeinated though. Okay. Pain is all okay? Oh yeah, so I said at the start of this, there's some back pain, and it's a kind of weird thing. I don't want to get too specific about my stuff, but it's something that if my painkillers aren't gonna cooperate, and often they don't, I may need to just lie down and cry. I need to sleep. It's the best way to just kind of wait for it to get out, and just kind of reset. And less sleep usually does make it worse. Like, I feel like that's just me generally with different pains, though. Less sleep, and I'm just less capable of handling it. Okay. We are back into the file, though. We got halfway through. We are in the FBI Unusual Incidents Unit, the Pittsburgh office, that have given us, Agent Gasami, this file to read and take notes on, and we did, and it became more and more. Thanks, Walcott and Candy Eater. You can call me Raven. But yeah. Aw, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be alright, I think. Wait. Hey, Turtle. There's gonna be a slow response. You were the one that did the bit. You know, my tin in a plastic jar. Were you the one that asked for plastic in a tin jar? Anyway, I feel like I need to confirm who that was, if it wasn't you. I don't know why I think it's you right now. But I'm like, it was somebody. Somebody from early. Anyway, we've read this file, we take our notes, we understand that it's an assessment of the SCP Foundation and the FBI being all sus of them, and how it's creating problems. Me and Locke. Okay, cool. I got ya. Locke, are you still here? We read that. At the end of it was also a file on us, and our suspicions that they're wanting us to join this group were kind of confirmed. And so then there was a big break, and now we've got the new thing, and it says, Agent Gasemi, it's been a long time, but I've got a few more pages of classified information for your review. You remember the process. Make notes for each page, then put it all in your safe with the files from your inaugural. This time, decide what you want to do about it before you come to my office. It'll be easier when you're alone with your thoughts. Funny, I thought that we had made our decision pretty clear the first time, where we were saying yes for sure. But anyway, okay. So we're jumping into a new set of files and notes that we gotta do. Eepy time? Okay, get ready for eeps, Walcott and Candy Eater. And Lahonk, if you have disappeared, I have something that I wanted to show you, but if you're gone, you're gone. Okay. So, we begin with top secret. To be kept under lock and key, never to be removed from the office at the top of this paper. Then we have author on the left, says it's SecDef Donald H. Rumsfeld. And then on the right, date filed 01/05, so January 5th, 1977. Aw, thanks for tucking them in, Cage. After that, we have a new logo. This time, there's a pentagram in the middle with an eagle with its talons on the bottom points and the wings kind of going up at the back where it is and around to the front, like giving the pentagram a hug. Kind of funky. And at the top it says Paranatural Warfare Command, and on the bottom half of the circle, the United States of America. So, okay. Funky little logo. Why we got a bonk cage? What the hell? I just found out I can tuck myself in. You can. But we all like to be nice and tuck each other in. This is sweet. Okay. Underneath the logo says Official Pentagram Documentation. And the header says SCP Foundation Biological Research and Containment Area 12. Located primarily underground in Sugar Grove, West Virginia, proximate to what was previously the National Security Administration and Naviocom's Sugar Grove Station, the SCP Foundation's quote-unquote Biological Research and Specialized Containment Area 12 has been granted jurisdiction of these facilities in exchange for their continued operation and data transfer to all relevant parties, along with containment of an undisclosable anomaly believed to have manifested in the area sometime in late December 1972, both in continuum. It's love bongs. I thought you knew this. This is something that I have forgotten you do. It's been mostly the goose. So my brain is like kind of parsed out some of the people that don't do it as much. And, well, the goose, is it really love bonks or is it just loving chaos and violence? Okay, thank you for giving love bonk. Alright, right, so we've got some sort of anomaly from December 72. And the fact that it's the new area. That's what that was saying. Okay, I'm trying to remind myself. I just read it, but it's already left my brain. Okay. The SCP Foundation, in active communication with Pentagram, all caps, is authorized full autonomy within Sugar Grove and Green Bank, with future plans for the benefaction of the nation, I think they mean national, radio quiet zone, currently in the drafting stages, sought in exchange for the facilitation of a reciprocal biological Eigen weaponry research program. Tippy taps? Oh, yes, we can do tippy taps. We just started this next half, so I'm going to try and focus so that I can get to that quickly. But unless there's a bunch of redeems, I'm going to wait probably till we finish this. Let's see how fast I can read. For access to data pertaining to specific communications with Area 12's administration, please consult page 5 of this file with authorization from your superior and the Pentagon's top floor. Ring E. Ring E. Head Secretary. Please remember to bring appropriate, and then in brackets, minutious clearance. Under that, we've got our first note. And now we've got the smoking gun. The skippers are using that black site to make paranormal WMDs, and Pentagram let them do it. Rummy thinks they'll let him play with the toys since they're done. Fucking idiot. Rummy? Question mark? Is this someone I should know? And yeah, we had that break, so I assume that we are selves or person writing this, Gesemi, have been doing the skips research for a while. It's very for gore. I'm sorry. It's just that I haven't seen properly someone say it's a love bonk. It's just kind of been like, you guys bonk all the time, the violence. It's okay. Wait, I'm not supposed to get distracted. Okay. So, yes, we know that. We said Rummy's an idiot. Yes. The SCP Foundation is a clear and present danger to the United States of America and the rest of human civilization. I know I gave it the voice. It just feels dramatic. We need to start figuring how to get out from under their bloody thumb, so to speak. And then we've got a little note. I'm guessing this is pinned to the next paper, but I don't know. It says, on 11 May 1978, through a coincidence of timing and opportunity, a mole embedded in the SCP Foundation Records and Information Security Administration's low clearance data uplink team sent an encrypted snapshot of a recently updated file on SciPnet, the Foundation's interfaculty computer system. The file was subsequently taken down and re-uploaded with the final paragraph absent just a few minutes later. All from Jacob Merrick, all caps Crow, or Communications Relay and Overwatch. Then where'd the W come from? Overwatch, maybe? Okay. I got there. So this next paper will have the last paragraph removed. So I've highlighted the last paragraph. We gotta remember. Alright. Recovered file. Group of interest profile. The Benthic Brotherhood. GOI 246. Threat level 2. In brackets, KULDE. KULDE, all caps. Membership, approximately 30. Area of operations, New England Coast, United States of America. The Benthic Brotherhood was a white supremacist organization founded in Stonington, Maine in 1927. Under the auspice, I should probably figure out, I've heard people say that one and I understand the context. I forget how it's pronounced. My brain is not doing the best tonight. So I'm like, auspices? Auspice? Anyway, of local lobster fishermen. So they're pretending to be fishermen. The Brotherhood seeded the Maine coast with occult artifacts sunken into the seabed within shipwrecks, natural crevices, and preserved fish carcasses. With the intent of gradually awakening a deific entity they termed the Red Asteroid. According to their theology, this entity would aid in the ethnic cleansing of the United States before elevating the believers to a plane of existence they termed the Upper Depths, wherein they would serve as fleet lords sounds stupid, over ships crewed by the enslaved slain. The Brotherhood was first founded by occultists worshipping a different deity, sharing only its sea star form with the Red Asteroid. The present theology was created after a number of deaths and disappearances within the group left an authority vacuum which was filled temporarily by horror writer H.P. Lovecraft, Howard Phillips Lovecraft, who also introduced the racial elements of the Brotherhood's beliefs. Blaming Lovecraft for the racism? Okay. The Brotherhood was destroyed on 11 May 1978 when interference by parties unknown prevented Foundation agents from conducting their regular neutralization of the sunken artifacts, and a creature superficially resembling the Red Asteroid was summoned in Penobscot Bay. Don't know this place, so I don't know how to pronounce. It immediately consumed the lobster fishing fleet with all hands, instantly killing or precipitating the eventual digestive demise of each person of interest in the cult. Well, that solved itself. Before turning its attentions to the port of Stonington. At this point, the creature, dubbed LSA Stonington 01 by the Global Occult Coalition, was promptly disposed of via the application of an industrial quantity of Epsom salt deployed via cargo plane. See, that's what we needed for the plant story we read yesterday. Just a giant serving of Epsom salt. Okay. And then this last paragraph, I guess, was removed in one of the re-uploaded versions, maybe? The Brotherhood was destroyed on 11 May 1978 via the execution of Neutralization Plan 346 Alpha, the activation of a cognitohazardous strobe concealed in the Deer Isle thoroughfare light during the group's weekly meeting in Penobscot Bay, interacting with memetics seeded into their religious literature by an embedded Foundation agent and precipitating their collective heart attacks. Cleanup details are TBA. So they were destroyed by that and not the previous? What was the last paragraph? What really happened? If that's how they dealt with it, why does the other one say that the thing turned on the port? Why would you... Okay, I don't know. Okay. Our notes seem to have the same concerns. Two different explanations for the same event. What does that suggest? A. All big newspapers have pre-written obituaries for famous people, and sometimes they accidentally publish them at the wrong time. The Foundation had a plan for killing off these fishermen and accidentally published that as the explanation alongside what actually did it. B. No, it's definitely just A. Okay, well, thank you for explaining that. I wouldn't have put that together, that it was a pre-plan. It's just not where my brain would have gone. So they were planning the neutralization plan, but then their own nonsense with the weird little guy happened. Is what happened. Oops. The Foundation had a detailed plan with measures already put in place for disposing of a cult of lobster fishermen with a low threat rating, and that plan had a specific designation with the group of interest number included. What does that tell us? It tells us the Foundation almost definitely has plans for neutralizing every group of interest, and some of them are already partially in place. We need to start acting on this, and it's underlined yesterday, maybe year, underlined year. Do they really go? I don't think they go after all of them, but they kind of prepare something for all of them in case they become a more concerning thing, I think. Based on what we've read, right? I feel like they don't properly do everything. But okay, now we've got a couple of redactions on numbers. I'm going to see if I can recover that. Redactioning. No, I cannot. I tried. Alright. Our next paper, our next file page. Service record continued. Subsequent to her transfer to the UIU, this again. Agent Ghassemi's specialty became the surreptitious engagement of Foundation operatives without disrupting the official status quo of neutrality between the two groups. She had come to understand the UIU's relationship with both the Foundation and Pentagram as a multi-front Cold War, requiring the development of an educated body of agents capable of acting as long-term assets. Elevated beyond field deployment, she instead engaged in operations control, continuing her long streak of successful missions with minimal casualties, though she repeatedly expressed frustration at her newfound inability to directly intervene. She channeled that frustration into providing as much aid to her operatives as humanly possible, it says humanly possibly, remaining one of the UIU's most prized hierarchical assets. I added a Service record excerpts selected. and the file numbers are redacted, but the first file is prisoner transfer between SCP Foundation Area 06 and Paramax is interrupted when an electromagnetic pulse disables the armored troop carrier convoy, locking the UIU detail in their vehicle. Assailants of unknown origins attempt to commandeer the prison vehicle, but are swiftly dispatched by Agent Ghassemi, who had escaped from her vehicle by compromising it from the inside. The attackers are never identified. Why was she in the prison vehicle? Or she was driving it, I guess. I'm like, why? Escaping, I guess. My brain. Agent's testimony excerpt. They never give up anything they don't think they can take back. I made them think again. The next file, a raid on an occult bookshop in 3 Portlands uncovers a set of thaumaturgical grimoires sought by both the Wanderers Library and the SCP Foundation. Agent Ghassemi contacts a representative of the Serpent's Hand and patriates the text to the library, unilaterally against the express orders of her immediate superior. She is placed on mandatory leave for 1 month. After serving 1 week, she submits a personally assembled dossier to her section head, proving her former superior to be a Foundation mole. Her punishment is reduced to time served, and she is reinstated. UIU relations with the library markedly improve. Agent's testimony excerpt. They're like weeds, the Foundation. I figure if anyone knows how to handle a garden, it's the Serpent. Who says we aren't a serpent agent then? Suspicious. Okay, and we haven't got any notes on this. We didn't write any notes on that page. We just immediately go to the next page. And the one after that. Ooh, we're ignoring these. We're supposed to do the notes after every page. But oh well, okay. Next files. The SCP Foundation informs the UIU that it has been operating a clandestine facility with access to 3 Portlands, which has gone dark and become inaccessible except through the thaumaturgical way leading into the free port. As the Foundation is not authorized to engage in operations in 3 Portlands, Agent Ghassemi's team breaches the facility via the way and clears it of a now hostile researcher and mobile task force population. The facility's contents are classified, but the outpost's failure is formally tied to quote-unquote reckless experimentation on the part of the Foundation, and they are assessed a financial penalty for breaking the spirit of the Hoover Mandate. Receipt pending. Agent's testimony excerpt. That's who they are. Ultimately, that's what they do, and slaps on the wrist won't change it. Next. Agents interfere with a lawful auction by Marshall, Carter, and Dark Limited within Free Portlands, not 3 Portlands? Free Portlands, under suspicion of human trafficking. 5 undocumentable immigrants from a territory wherein the authority of the Usual Incidents Unit does not penetrate. All of that is in green text, which makes me think it's the that SCP that gets rid of specific nouns and stuff. It changes it out for unspecific nouns. I'm wondering. Anyway, immigrants from that territory. They are detained for 3 hours before SCP Foundation representatives successfully negotiate for their release, citing irrevocable power of attorney granted to MC and D. What's MC and D? As one element of a tripartite arrangement with that strange and distant place. With that strange and distant place being in green again. So wherever that is. Agent's testimony excerpt. Just because they're forgotten doesn't mean they're not people. last page of files before we seem to have a note again, finally. UIU file redacted again. Agent Ghassemi reports a senior Anderson Robotics representative to her supervisors. The representative attempted to bribe her with a prosthesis capable of fully replicating all natural functions in exchange for information on bureau business. Agent's testimony excerpt: "What do you want me to say? No sane person takes this job for personal gratification." Next file. A prison riot at the United States Penitentiary Paranormal Administrative Maximum Facility, Paramax, coincides with the transportation of a low-power, type blue, and then in brackets and quotes, thaumaturge, to the facility by Agent Ghassemi's unit. The riot, instigated by a spirit medium ostensibly possessed by 18th century jurist and philosopher Jeremy Bentham, is successfully discontinued by the combined actions of Agent Ghassemi's team, the Paramax Special Operations Response Team, and then in brackets, SORT, S-O-R-T, under Correctional Manager Blythe Z. Souther, and the thaumaturge in custody, successfully exhorted into exorcising the spirit by Agent Ghassemi. Agent's testimony excerpt: "Souther was good at her job. I wish I knew what happened to her. We could have used someone like that at the Bureau." Last file. SCP-106 escapes containment, and a joint Foundation UIU mission attempts its recapture. It instead captures one of the UIU agents, who is able to communicate sporadically from its pocket dimension via an enhanced radio link. Agent Ghassemi remains in contact with the agent for 26 hours as the anomaly hunts and gradually maims and dismembers him, staying on the line until his death is all but certain. Agent's testimony excerpt: "Agent was unwilling to testify on this matter." So we refuse to make anything about that one. Alright, Devod, eat well. We'll see you when we see you. Take care. Ah, my mouth is squiggling around. Our note then says, "Yes, that is indeed the remainder of my service record. I didn't need a reminder. I take it this is recruitment for an anti-Foundation task force. They could have just asked me in person this time. Nostalgia or excessive caution on Merrick's part? Either way, it's a waste of vital time. I'm wasting it myself, writing and then I guess we stop writing it. I realized a while ago, at the top of this, Merrick was AD before, and now they're DDS in this time, so our supervisor, or whoever got us into this, also got promoted, I think. Scrolly. Okay. This page, says at the top in little header, Draft E, U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation Unusual Incidents Unit, as well as date filed 01/05/1980, January 5th, 1980. Then we've got a weird lamp logo that has an F and a backwards L and an I in the crosshairs of this lamp. It's very, like imagine the handheld kind of things. And under the weird logo is the title Protocol Fault Line, and under that a quote: "The sick in soul insist that it is humanity that is sick, and they are the surgeons to operate on it." This is from Eric Hoffer, 1955. The last of that paper just says, "Drafted to safeguard the sovereignty and security of all members via political and military means. Collective bargaining and defense at the heart of the protocol establishes and maintains solidarity and cohesion throughout the anomalous world and its members." Our note underneath that: "What? This doesn't exist. I would absolutely have heard by now if this existed. They're already way ahead of me, aren't they? Just once I'd like to be on the leading edge without bleeding all over it. But this doesn't sound nearly enough. An internal resolution isn't going to bring the foundation down. We need large-scale collective action, and soon. Next page. It's titled Founding Protocol. As the unknowable grows steadily more concrete and immaterial, so does the threat posed to mankind and normalcy. Before this threat, we stand united, not as governments, corporations, or ideologues, but as mankind, as representative parts of a whole. The SCP Foundation, whether their every ideal stands to couple with ours, has always come second to our collective goal of ensuring mankind's continued prosperity and ascension in a universe saturated in that which can eternal lie. For this we thank them. This organization has, on innumerable occasions, diverted cataclysms sure to have led mankind toward extinction. For this we are eternally grateful. However, this organization has, too, over the centuries, and due to our thanks and graces for its great deeds, grown fat, inflated and assured in its righteous goal that only they know the path on which to tread, and dogmatic in when others might follow. In our blindness and desperation for safety and normalcy, we've permitted its distension into a global fundamental force beholden not to mankind but to a fascistic ruling council with vested interests to bear claim to the obligation. Woohoo! Let's call them out. It is for this reason that we draft the Fault Line Protocol. The SCP Foundation has too long operated without supervision, with impunity, and with naught but their own isolated interpretation of the greater good, of the wishes of the many. Signatories herein represent all mankind, its vices and virtues, its distinct and divergent interpretations of culture, religion, kinship, science, and philosophy, of what it means to be human, and the implications therein. Signatories acknowledge and affirm the fundamental nature of individuality, the inalienable right to one's own life and ability to reason, and therefore agree to apportion disagreements of natures political externally to the columns herein for the betterment of mankind, unapportioned by borders, material or metaphysical. For we have arrived at the dawn of a new era. The Foundation will, from this day forward, answer to mankind, no longer to their self-imposed, axiomatic interpretation. Each signatory will, with the collective bargaining of all, wield the human right and capacity for liberty. The signatories to this protocol reaffirm their devotion to the principles of their collective desire to live in peace and prosperity with all peoples and all governments. They seek to promote stability and well-being of the veiled and unveiled worlds. They are resolved to unite their efforts for collective autonomy and for the eternal preservation of peace and normalcy. They therefore agree to this fault line protocol. And before we read what the colon says, we have our note that is just text as big as the entire paper, all caps. What? Okay. Here's the protocol. Column 1. Signatories herein agree to utilize this protocol in conjunction in accordance with precedent agreements, including but not limited to the first Veil Protocol, then Charter of the United Nations, then Köln Agreement, K-O with the little dots, O-L-N, Pangea Agreement, Multilateral Agreement for Reality Preservation, and then it has superscript brackets 1981. Then High Brazil International Security Agreement, 1992. Then Hoover Mandate and Howard Grant Agreement. And finally, the Boring Agreement. Next, column 2. Signatories undertake to act within reason and, unless coerced otherwise, to settle violations peacefully in such a manner that international normalcy and security are not endangered. Column 3, signatories by means of continuous and effective self-help and mutual aid will maintain and develop their individual and collective capacity to resist violations of territorial and political integrity or security. Column 4, Signatories will consult together whenever, in the opinion of any of them, the territorial and political integrity or security of any of the signatories is threatened. Column 5. Signatories agree that violations against one shall be considered a violation against them all, and consequently they agree that if such a violation occurs, each of them, in exercise of the right of individual or collective self-defense, will assist the signatory or signatories so violated by taking forthwith, individually and in concert with the other signatories, such action as it deems necessary, including the use of armed force, to restore and maintain the integrity of the veiled world. Our note underneath: they can't be serious. Nobody is going to sign this. It's like signing your own death warrant. And then underneath, principal signatories of the fault line record. Each of these have a different logo, and then their description underneath. First, the UIU, FBI United States Unusual Incidents Unit. Then, the GOC, their pentagram logo, UN-IGO, Global Occult Coalition. Then we've got the British coat of arms, I'm pretty sure. SIS, United Kingdom, British Occult Service, MI666. When I said the coat of arms, it's the lion, the unicorn, the crown, the thing. Ooh, I don't think I've said this before yet, but I'm happy. Today was my sister's birthday, and she wanted to go out to the bookstore and dinner. Over there, I got two new poetry books. Woohoo! That sounds great. I'm glad it was a good day. Happy birthday to sister. Next, I don't recognize this logo immediately, but this one is BA3. And then there's going to be letters I don't know. C something Y is what it looks like, but it's Ukraine. It's Ukrainian. So no wonder I don't know. Department of Abnormal Threats to the Security Service of Ukraine. Then we've got another kind of old classic European kind of coat of arms with a crown and stuff. It's SISMA, Italian Republic, Anomalous Materials Information and Security System. The next one, SBP, Republic of Brazil, Brazilian Superintendents for the Paranormal. It's got a little pentagram in the middle, an anchor, and wings. Next one is some characters in a square. I don't know the characters. I don't know the next little characters, but it's the ROC Taiwan, National Paracivilian Agency. And finally, a logo that looks like it has a gear on the outside and a little flag on the mountains inside of the little thing. Characters I do not know. Hong Kong SAR, New Cha Ling is what it says. Underneath that paper with all the people that signed, we say, what's the end game here? Collective defense? Create our very own veiled NATO? That kind of thing will take years if it doesn't kill us all first. On the other hand, I do stand corrected. Yeah, everybody signed when we thought no one would sign. And then a good space before it says, and one long, strange trip later. Now we have even more signatures. This is the very end of this. Ancillary signatories as of 01/01/2020, New Year's Day 2020. We have MC and D, something we referenced earlier. LTD, commercial entity Marshall, Carter, and Dark, which are NYC, London, Hong Kong. We have LLC, commercial entity Anderson Robotics. We have NPO Independent, Sapphire. We have religious institution, Church of the Broken God. We have religious institution, Cogwork Orthodox Church. We have, I cannot read that, Iran, Organization for the Reclamation of Islamic Artifacts. We have GRU, Russian Federation, Main Directorate General Staff of the Armed Forces Occult Branch. We have something that looks like it says Primordial under a paper plane. NGO, mercenary contractor, primordial. Yeah, I was right. We have something NGO, independent, Institute for Human Education and Development. NGO independent WWW. NGO remnant cell, Cuban Ministry of Anomalies. And finally, DOD, United States, Paranatural Warfare Command, Pentagram. At the very bottom, we have a little quote again. It says ... so I think it's completing the top thing. We had started, and one long strange trip later, ... we pick up ... we all stand together. NURIAKEA, Crow, Communications, Relay, and Overwatch. So it looks like we've officially joined. But that was that file. Oh boy. Spoopy. Alright, let's take a trigger break. I've only got the one. Oh my gosh, my yawns. I've only got the one so far. But let's go ahead with Glass Jar Tappy Taps. Moving mic around, moving myself around. Okay. Hi, Nightly. Hello. Oh my gosh, that's why I thought I sounded quiet for a while. I accidentally made that small. Great. Oh, the honk is back. I see. You've been quiet, but I know you are here. So ha 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 ha. Woo. Here is tin and plastic and tin. I would add more plastics, but that's kind of it so far. It just sounds like a cowbell a little bit. Anybody else? No? I got distracted. Put it that way. Ah! Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I guess I lost somebody and now I gained somebody back. Now we've got this one. But welcome in, Void, Baron, Jules. I gotta drop some dances. That's our tradition here. You drop some dance emotes whenever someone new follows. So there you go. Thank you for the follow. Where was I go? Oh yes. Honestly, that doesn't sound bad. I expected it to be more dingy. Yeah. Just kind of like a cowbell. I would add more, but I don't think that that's so bad. Yeah. I just wanted to know you to know that like I have remembered that little moment. Okay. I guess I would do this for this. I guess. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No. I'm trying to get some. You know what? We're gonna go with this. No, I'm not. Oh gosh, I'm just so bad at these. This one will do. I wanted to get some inspiration at least for the affirmation. Cause I'm not sure. But I'll go with this. Okay. You are strong and capable. You are enough. You are worthy of love. You are deserving of kindness. You are capable of achieving your goals. You are in control of your thoughts. You are at peace within yourself. You are confident. You are capable of overcoming stress or challenges in your life. You are worthy of love and happiness. You deserve to take time for yourself every day. You are resilient, strong, and brave. You are becoming a better version of yourself every day. You are deserving of respect and kindness. You are surrounded by love and support. You are in control of your thoughts and actions. You are capable of achieving your goals. You nourish your body, mind, and soul. You are a source of inspiration for others. You are constantly growing and evolving. You are worthy of success and abundance, and you are enough just as you are. How about that? I went off of lists. I hope that works. Some of them feel weird for me to tell you what you are, as opposed to you say it about yourself, so I skip those. Is that what we're after? Is this what we're after? Okay. Everybody looks cozy and happy and loved, so that I think I hit it. I hope that's good. Okay. Well, there is our affirmations. There you go, Raven. But okay. Alright. Well, it's certainly earlier than I planned to end, but I think I want to do just one more story. As much as I'm pretty good, I think it's a good idea for me to be carefuler with myself today. So, ripped from the headlines. And that's supposed to be capitalized right there. Headlines is our last story. It's one we've already read. Yep, that was nice. Oh, perfect. Well, I'm glad. I'm very glad. Okay. This is one we've already read, and I'm gonna try and do some voices to it since I kind of know it now. I don't know. We'll find out. But here we go. So, ripped from the headlines. We've already read it, but I thought it was perfect for spoopy season, and noted that after I read it last time. So I'm gonna read it now that we're reading our Spooktober Begins stories. Alright. I stared at the television, barely catching the words as I helped Helen into the chair. Gone. Nothing left but a giant hole. The hurricanes reported in the region were actually the result of air and water rushing in to fill the... Come on. Sorry, I got distracted. Your even voice makes you eepy. Yay! Go eep. Eep well, take care. Okay, come on, I said, flipping to another channel. I couldn't care less about North Korea. I was looking for the big news. gap between the two sides is wider than ever. The Secretary of Defense is defending the secrecy, saying it was for our own protection. The president denies this was better, but still not quite there. Look, I know you hate it when I flip through the channels, Helen, I said, but for God's sake, the whole world's just changed. Aren't you excited? I just couldn't understand why she didn't look more excited. I'll never understand women, I'm afraid. I tried another as I brushed a fly from in front of my face. Having any knowledge of these events are being asked to come forward. Sources in Parliament have confirmed that the Global Occult Coalition is partly funded with Crown. I shook my head. Not quite there yet. Helen's expression was disapproving. I'm sorry, I said, but you don't understand what it's like for me. You're normal. I've never fit in. I've never belonged. It's easy for you, but there's never been a place for me. I changed the channel. Money like anyone else, Robert. Our clients have refined tastes, and we do our best to attend to them. I don't think you'll find that we've done anything illegal. I wouldn't call... I put my hand on Helen's. Everything's changed today. There are others like me. Can you imagine? I'm not alone, not really. I shook my head suddenly. Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. Of course I'm glad we met, but we've only known each other a few days, and I've been wanting to find other people like me for all my life. Imagine, like you were the only one in the whole world who could see. Nobody else knew what blue even was, let alone what it had to do with the sky. Can you even think how lonely that would be? For trial by the International Court, the SCP Foundation has so far refused to consent to an... Look, we can get on with things in a minute. Just let me find one good bit. Someone will be talking about it, you'll see. I told Helen. I changed it again, and this time was rewarded by a young woman being interviewed in studio. Here, look. Examination, because some of the doctors were kind of creepy, but it wasn't bad for the most part, just awfully lonely, she said. She was blonde, in her early 20s, it seemed. Pretty face, though not so pretty as Helen. And all because of your... talent? The interviewer asked. Boorish man, glasses. I can't stand a man in glasses, puts me on edge. That's right, she said. They said it could be dangerous. Can we see a demonstration? Asked the interviewer. She nods and is handed a photograph. It shows another man, dark skin, fine suit. As soon as she takes it, it begins to move. The host calls backstage, and the dark-skinned man walks in. His picture matches his movements. When the girl touches the picture, the man jumps and says he could feel her touching him. A close-up shows his skin indenting in the spot where she puts her finger. The camera zoomed in to let everyone see how her finger goes into the photograph. Have you always been able to do this? Asked the interviewer. Since I was younger, at least, she says. I turned it off. We'd seen enough. Oh, Helen, I said, tears forming in the corners of my eyes. It's so wonderful. I'm not a freak anymore. I belong. For once in my miserable life, I belong. I reached over and stroked her cheek lovingly. It was pale, but there was still a hint of the rosiness she'd had the day before. I brushed the flies from her skin. We'd been talking long enough, and it was time to get on with it. If people spend too much time dead, they start to smell, and people just don't understand. I tore the skin and flesh from her arm and pulled off her ulna and began to chew. Muscles around my jaw swelling and growing to let me crush the bone. Once I finished, it was time to look outward for once. The world was new, and for once, I felt I had a place in it. The end. We haven't read that one before, like I said, but I thought that was a good, spoopy one. Alright, it's significantly earlier than my schedule says I would end, but you know what? It's what it is. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be up again Sunday and Monday and Tuesday next week. And we'll be doing more creepypasta, SCP, creepypasta. And then the next week, SCP, creepypasta, SCP. Up until the end of Halloween, or end of Spooktober. I'm thinking about when Halloween lands, though. I won't be streaming day of, so I guess we'll just have to do the last little bit leading up to it. But yeah. Oh, I'm excited. More spoopies. Alright, thank you guys. Thank you for being worried about me. I'll be okay. I just, yeah, should not push it. No worries. It's a little bit funny having everybody so quiet, but it feels like it's very fitting while I'm doing my reading category. It feels like everybody's really transitioned into just listen to story. Makes me kind of want to do a proper ASMR tagged thing next where I do shorter stories or just do ASMR finally. That'll be something I wonder about in November or later, because we've got a very specific plan this month, don't we? Okay. Hopefully I'll see you Sunday. Yeah, eat well. VODs are up. I'll get this one up. Probably it'll be up and going tomorrow if I remember. Yeah. Eat well, everyone, or happy time zone, whatever time zone. Let's raid out. Stream over. It's our time in novel writing month. How fitting. Is it novel writing month? Is that what November is? Take care. Yeah, where are we going, Vet? If you have it. I'm gonna swap us over. Boop boop boo doo. Sidchi. Okay. Let's get our raid messages. Woo! Have a good week. You have a good week too, honk. Nice copy. Sidchi. Sorry, it takes me a little bit. But it won't be too long. Ooh, okay. Yes. Alright. No? There we go. Hope you've got your messages ready. Oh, that is a very fancy hat. Wow. That's a very fancy hat. Oh, goodness. Okay. Alright. I hope everybody has a good night. I'm gonna get good rest. I hope you do too. Alright. We raid now. Whee!